Good morning. I'm Chaplain John Rawlison with the Homesteader Reserve-Based Chapel, and thank you so much for joining us for day 2 of our Advent devotional series. Today's lesson starts with a reading from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, verses 14 through 16. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. In those days, and at that time, I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days, Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell securely. And this is the name by which it will be called: the Lord is our righteousness. Now, in Jeremiah's time, it was too dark to see much hope. Their leaders were too susceptible to corruption, their hearts too inclined to selfishness, their affections too prone to idolatry. God had told them to repent, but instead they chose to believe a lie, that it was too hard to return to their first love when they had turned away to something new. So they ended up exiled in Babylon, and in Babylon it was too dark for them to see much hope. They wanted to change their names and their worship, and their homes and their laughter had been stolen. And their identity was slowly slipping away to Babylon's message of assimilation. You see, this is the context which Jeremiah spoke his message. And he reminded God's people that God had not forgotten his promises. We know that God never forgets. And that there's a future because the line of the king of David will be restored. And the new king will restore justice and righteousness. And Jeremiah dared God's people to risk believing in hope when there was no evidence of it. And he challenged them to believe that their hope, salvation, and justice and future were wrapped up in the story of this righteous king. Now we know that the righteous king is Jesus. And like God's people in Babylon, our hope and our salvation and our future are intricately tied to his story. And like God's people in Babylon, it's hard to hold on to hope when things feel hopeless and culture pressures us. But the story isn't over. God's not done. Throughout your day, come back to Jeremiah's words and let them challenge you to risk and to redirect your hope. I pray that this brought you hope and encouragement today. Until tomorrow, I'm Chaplain John Rawlison with the Homesteader Reserve-Based Chapel.